Hi guys, today we are going to talk about the history of the British Empire from 1497 to 1997. The British Empire began to take shape when England and Scotland were still two separate kingdoms. The Hundred Years' War from 1337 to 1453 with France and the raging pandemic known as the Black Death completely devastated England. Social unrest, combined with the weak rule of King Henry VI, led to a series of civil wars for the throne between the two factions of York and Lancaster from 1455 to 1485. After the war, the Tudor dynasty was established. With a decisive victory at the Battle of Bosworth in late August 1485, Henry Tudor ascended the throne, and a new historical era for the British Empire began. King Henry VII established his own army upon taking the throne and simultaneously suppressed any factions that intended to oppose him. In 1496, he commissioned John Cabot to lead an expedition to Asia through the North Atlantic. By 1509, King Henry VIII took the throne, declared the dissolution of the Catholic Church, and established a separate church for the kingdom. He rebuilt the English naval force and consolidated English control over Wales. He also colonised Ireland by bringing Protestants from England and Scotland to Ireland. Queen Elizabeth I ascended the throne in 1558 and authorised a series of oceanic explorations to expand their colonies. At this time, the Protestant Reformation turned England and the Catholic Kingdom of Spain into bitter enemies. In 1562, Elizabeth I ordered naval attacks on Spanish and Portuguese ships off the coast of West Africa with the goal of interfering in the Atlantic slave trade, but they were repelled by the Spanish. In 1578, Queen Elizabeth I granted a patent to Humphrey Gilbert to conduct overseas discoveries and explorations. In 1583, Humphrey Gilbert discovered the island of Newfoundland and claimed it for England. By 1584, Walter Raleigh, with the Queen's permission, established a colony on Roanoke Island. However, the colonisation failed due to logistical shortcomings. In 1588, the King of Spain assembled a massive armada, coordinating with the elite army of the Duke of Parma from the Netherlands to attack the southeast coast and invade England. As the Spanish armada advanced to Calais, the English used fireships filled with burning pitch and gunpowder to launch a diversionary attack. The Spanish fell for the trap, fled, and completely abandoned their intention of invading England. The reign of Queen Elizabeth I is considered one of the most glorious eras in British history. In 1603, King James VI of Scotland became the King of England, and a year later he negotiated with the Spanish to sign the Treaty of London, ending the hostility. To consolidate all power, King James deliberately ignored the role of Parliament, bringing the country to the brink of civil war. In 1625, Charles I took the throne and dissolved Parliament, causing the English Civil War to erupt between supporters of Parliament and supporters of the monarchy. The first permanent English settlement in the Americas was established at Jamestown in 1607. Following this, England proceeded to invade and claim sovereignty over Bermuda, after which the Virginia colony was founded. Settlements were successfully established one after another in St. Kitts in 1624, Barbados in 1627, and Nevis in 1628. Maryland was founded in 1634 as a haven for Roman Catholics, followed by Rhode Island in 1636 and Connecticut in 1639. In 1649, King Charles was captured and put on trial for the conspiracies of the old absolute monarchy. The British Empire became a republic under the leadership of Lord Protector Oliver Cromwell until 1653. A coup broke out, and Cromwell's dictatorship was established to replace the short-lived republic. To ensure that the profits from maritime trade remained in English hands, in 1651, Parliament passed acts mandating that only English ships were allowed to trade in English colonies. In 1655, England annexed the island of Jamaica from the Spanish. During the colonisation process, wars broke out between England and the Netherlands. The hostility only temporarily ceased when King James II was overthrown by an alliance of the English Parliament and a Dutch expeditionary force led by William of Orange in early 1688. The peace between England and the Netherlands paved the way for both nations to enter the 9 Years' War as allies. In 1701, England, Portugal, and the Netherlands sided with the Holy Roman Empire against Spain and France in the War of the Spanish Succession, which lasted until 1714. The British Empire annexed many territories, such as Newfoundland and Acadia from the French, as well as Gibraltar and Minorca from Spain. After that, Britain participated in the 7 Years' War from 1756 to 1763, with victory going to the Anglo-Prussian alliance. The signing of the Treaty of Paris in 1763 brought significant consequences for the future of the British Empire in North America. France ceded its Canadian colonies, while Spain gave up the territory of Florida to Britain. This war helped Britain become the most powerful maritime nation in the world. In the 1760s and 1770s, relations between the 13 colonies and Britain became increasingly tense, as these colonies were gradually industrialising and producing faster than Britain. To deal with this situation, Britain sent troops to re-establish direct rule, revoking the autonomy the 13 colonies had enjoyed while Britain was involved in the 7 Years' War, which led to the outbreak of the Revolutionary War in 1775. By 1776, the 13 colonies declared their independence. After a decisive defeat at Yorktown in 1781, Britain began negotiating peace terms and officially recognised the independence of the United States in 1783. In 1770, Captain James Cook discovered the eastern coast of Australia and named it New South Wales. He also set foot in New Zealand and claimed sovereignty over these lands for Britain. The Industrial Revolution, taking place at a rapid pace in Britain, created a turning point for manufacturing development. Important inventions that boosted labour productivity were continuously introduced. In the 19th century, Britain faced a new threat of invasion from the French army commanded by Napoleon. The British Navy blockaded French ports and completely destroyed the combined Franco-Spanish fleet at Trafalgar in 1805. From late 1810 to 1815, the Duke of Wellington's victory at the Battle of Waterloo completely ended France's plot to invade Britain. According to the signed peace treaties, France ceded Malta, St. Lucia, and Tobago. Spain ceded Trinidad, and the Netherlands ceded Guyana and the Cape Colony to Britain. The Royal Navy began capturing Java from the Dutch in 1811, Singapore in 1819, Malacca in 1824, and conquered Burma in 1826. Concerns over Russia's dominance in the Mediterranean and the Middle East led Britain and France to invade the Crimean Peninsula to neutralise the Russian navy. Britain went on to annex Balochistan in 1876. In 1878, the Ottoman Empire ceded Cyprus to Britain in exchange for military aid if attacked by Russia. Britain continued to conquer Egypt in 1883 to protect the Suez Canal and the route to India. Following a rebellion in southern Egypt, Britain advanced to capture Sudan in 1898. Strategic seaports such as Gibraltar, Hong Kong, Singapore, and Aden all fell into British hands. Vital trade routes, like the Cape of Good Hope from Britain to India, and the Suez Canal in Egypt leading to the spice and rubber plantations in Southeast Asia, were also controlled by Britain. By the early 20th century, Britain possessed the most powerful navy in the world, along with a vast colonial system. When World War I broke out in 1914, Britain was initially neutral, but later had to assist France and Russia due to treaty obligations. As a result, after the war, Britain suffered incredibly heavy losses, with its roads, infrastructure, and economy severely destroyed. In 1919, Ireland declared independence, and the Irish Republican Army began a guerrilla war against the British government. The Anglo-Irish War ended in 1921 in a stalemate, and the two sides signed the Anglo-Irish Treaty, establishing the Irish Free State and leaving Northern Ireland as a self-governing nation within the British Empire. Although achieving true autonomy and independence, the Republic of Ireland still maintained constitutional ties to the British monarchy. At the same time, Britain acquired additional territories from the defeated nations. In 1939, Britain entered World War II. Britain suffered consecutive defeats on multiple fronts right from the beginning of the war. With the intervention of the United States, the Allied forces, including Britain, defeated the fascist powers. However, in reality, Britain had lost almost all of its colonies in Southeast Asia to Japan. In 1945, the British Empire began to decline as colonial liberation movements surged around the world. Britain had to grant independence to India, its largest colony, in 1947. The remaining British colonies also gradually gained their independence. Britain's final effort to hold on to its colonies was Operation Musketeer, an attack on Egypt, but it faced American opposition and was forced to withdraw its troops. From this point on, they acknowledged that they were no longer a mighty empire. This continued until their last major colony, Hong Kong, had to be handed back to China, which officially marked the end of the most powerful empire in the world. You've just finished watching the video, so please let me know your thoughts by commenting below. What did you think about this video? If you enjoyed it, please hit the like and share buttons. And do not forget to subscribe to the History channel and ring the bell so you will not miss out on our upcoming exciting content.